Conservative new media viewers and Jeremy Lin fans around the world, what is up? It's me, PFV, the NBA expert again, and there's breaking news that I just came across on Clutch Fans, and it is this. You can see in the title. Apparently, it is being reported by a person named Mark Deeks that the Houston Rockets want to get rid of Jeremy Lin, or at least want to get rid of his contract. That's right. It is being said that the Houston Rockets want to dump Jeremy Lin, just like the New York Knicks ended up doing. Well, kind of. Well, not quite the same thing. Now, let's go over a few things, okay? Number one, who is Mark Deeks? I've never heard of Mark Deeks, but I believe he is a reputable person. And it sounds like he's gotten real information on this. Sounds like he's got a contact in the Houston organization. So I think this does need to be taken seriously. That's the first thing. Now, why would this be the case? We've talked about this who knows how many times. We know, and there's people in Clutch Fans, that anybody but Jeremy crew, they're going crazy, they're happy, blah, 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 blah. Right. There's several reasons why this could be the case. Now, Deeks put up on his Twitter feed, which is where he announced this, and I'll find the tweets and put them in the video description below the video player as soon as I can. But what Deeks said is that Houston believes Patrick Beverley is better than Lin. And Deeks basically agreed with that, said, yeah, he is. And Houston knows it too. Now, we've gone over this a number of different times. Based on the statistics, based on the ceiling that's been shown between the two players in the NBA, Jeremy Lin has a better future than Patrick Beverley. But Houston must think that they see something here. They must think that they've seen something with Patrick Beverley. So that seems to be one reason. Another reason is Jeremy's salary. This was mentioned before, and I've brought it up in different discussions, or certainly the core discussion about is Dwight Howard going to come to Houston. Houston needs to unload a little bit more salary cap space, I believe, so that they can sign Dwight Howard to a max. I think that's what it is, or something along those lines. So there was a thought out there that Jeremy might be the guy gone. Now, of course, we've heard stuff about Houston wants to trade Thomas Robinson and free up his money, et cetera, et cetera. Honestly, I'm not fully up to speed with all the salary cap stuff, but it does look like Houston wants and maybe needs more cap room to be able to sign Dwight, or to be able to sign him to the numbers that they want to sign him to, probably a max deal. There was also something mentioned on Clutch Fans some time ago by somebody who claimed to be an insider, and I told you guys this before, where it was said that if Dwight comes to Houston, then Jeremy might not be around Houston much longer. And no real reason was given for that. I don't know if it's that Dwight doesn't like Jeremy. I don't know if it's the money issue. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why that is. But as this is coming up now, and based upon the other information that we've gone over in the video I did earlier tonight, it sounds like Houston's thinking they have a very good chance at Dwight Howard, and now it's like, well, they might need to clear up more room. There might be something going on here. There might be something going on, and Jeremy might have to go. Look, this is how I feel about this as a Jeremy Lin fan. I'm kind of over it, to tell you the truth. Honestly, I'm over it. And what I mean by that is it's enough. If Houston doesn't believe in him, it's time for Jeremy to go. He doesn't need to put up with this stuff. This is nonsense, in my opinion. Again, I like Patrick Beverley. I like him a lot. I respect him. I respect the Rockets general manager. and their organization in terms of talent evaluation. When Jeremy Lin was brought in at the start of last year, somebody in the organization took a shot at him, and it was leaked out that, the basketball operation didn't want Jeremy Lin, ownership did. Basically saying, yeah, we didn't really want Jeremy Lin back, even though they apologized to him and all this stuff. So that's what this seems like again. This is a diss. Now, people get their names brought out in trade rumors all the time. I know that Ray Allen, who plays for Miami now, but played for the Boston Celtics for several years, he got tired of his name being brought up in trade rumors. It's kind of like disrespectful. Jeremy has been dissed all the way through his basketball career, and everybody knows about that. And the bottom line for Jeremy is he got his contract, and he was able to get healthy last year, and he was able to improve last year and be a starting point guard. If Houston doesn't want him, let him go. Let him go. Get him out of there. He doesn't need to be put through this stuff again. I don't know if Patrick Beverley will or will not be a better player than Jeremy Lin. Maybe he will be. I don't see evidence for that yet, but maybe he will be. Fine. I would like it if Jeremy got to play with Houston. I would like it if Jeremy was on a contender next year and he's playing with James Harden, Dwight Howard, but this stuff needs to stop. Jeremy doesn't need to go through this. Not because he's special, just because it's getting old. He already went through this. It's time to move on from this. So if Houston's not committed to him, get him out of there. Just, trade him, get rid of him. Don't go through this sham. A lot of what happened in 2012 and 2013 was not very good. It wasn't necessarily handled in the right way, although Jeremy's knee wasn't right for a lot of the season. So maybe they didn't want to play him minutes for that. But if you don't think he's the guy, you think Patrick Beverley's the guy, then let Jeremy go. Get rid of him, put him on another team where he can play and do his thing and he doesn't have to go through this. This is silly. I love the Rockets. I've been a Rockets fan for a very long time. I've liked the Rockets since Moses Malone became Olajuwon back in the early 80s. This is absurd, the way that this has been handled. You let the guy go. You go through the entire apology and everything last year. You made a mistake. Wow, we can't believe we got rid of him and everything. And now Patrick Beverley's the future, not Jeremy Lin. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look well handled, regardless of what has gone on and what has not gone on. So that's my opinion of the situation. So I went over to Clutch fans. Again, anybody but Jeremy crowd going crazy. I'm just, they're trying to bait Jeremy fans. Oh, we told you. I'm over it. I'm at peace with it. Jeremy's done what he needs to do. If Houston doesn't want him, let him go. Don't go through with this. Don't make this into a sham. It shouldn't be like that. They might be thinking also, they're going to play Patrick Beverley over Jeremy next year, and they don't want to deal with the fallout of that. So maybe they just get rid of him instead of keep him. Well, figure out what you're going to do and do it. That's it. That's what I would say to the Houston Rockets organization. When I heard, I did the review of what Rahat Huk wrote on Red 94 about Jeremy the other day. And I mentioned in that review that Rahat had spoken to somebody in the organization. And that person, now I don't know when Rahat talked to them. I'm assuming it was recently. That person in the organization seemed to be putting Lin down a little bit in what they said. So that could have been the first leak. That could have been the first bit of information to get out like, yeah, we're going to move on from Jeremy. And maybe this is the coup de grace. This is the follow-up to that. Like, yep, it's out there. We want to move on from Jeremy. So I'm not surprised by this because of what was written by Rahat. It often happens like this. The organization will give different little bits of information to different people, and just to kind of get the story out there. We'll see what happens. Look, you guys know how we feel. We're going to follow Jeremy wherever he goes. We'll see what happens. I mean, I don't. Patrick Beverley has some good things. He does. He has some good qualities. Offensively, he's not as good as Jeremy Lin. Defensively, he's smaller than Jeremy Lin, and he has trouble guarding larger people. I respect Houston, the coach and organization. If they think Patrick Beverley can be better than Jeremy Lin, well, there must be something to that. I don't know if I agree with that, but I can't sit here and tell you that they're going to be proven wrong. I don't know. I'm not sure. Jeremy has a lot of work to do. Patrick Beverley's a guy that came from out of nowhere. Again, the Rockets picked him up from out of Europe last year. So there's a lot more to this story to be told. We'll see what happens, but this is a shocker. It's a shocker. I can understand getting rid of Jeremy Lin if you're going to get Chris Paul or somebody. Of course. Of course you're going to do that. I can understand getting rid of Jeremy Lin if you must get rid of his money so that you can get Dwight Howard. And that might be where this is at. Houston hasn't gone through with a deal on Thomas Robinson. They still might need a little bit more money. But the concept of giving up Jeremy Lin for Patrick Beverley, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me at this point in time. And to be fair, the source for Mark Deeks, I'm not sure they said that. That's what Mark Deeks said. So I don't want to put that in the mouth of the organization because that might not be true. We'll have more on this as it develops. We have to see what happens with this. Deeks himself is saying that he thinks Jeremy's going to stay and he won't be dealt from Houston. But if that's the case, then why is this getting put out there? Well, it's probably getting put out there because Houston's probably looking for trading partners so they can free up money to sign Dwight Howard. And might be a little warning sign that they might want to go with Patrick Beverley rather than Jeremy. We'll see. As I said, I'm not going to get too upset about it. What I want as a Jeremy Lin fan for Jeremy is to be in a position where he gets to do his thing, where he gets to show what he can do, where he can play. Hopefully he can start, but as long as he's getting minutes, I think he'll be able to show what he can do. I hope it's with Houston. If it's not with Houston and they want to move on from him, let him go. Just let him go. Give him the opportunity to go and do his own thing somewhere else. There are other cities, in my opinion, that would probably be a better fit for Jeremy than Houston. I was very disappointed with the Houston fan base this year, many of them, and how they reacted to Jeremy. Very different than the way New York was with Jeremy. I think very different than the way Golden State and Oakland was with Jeremy. I could see Jeremy doing well in Golden State again. I could see, he's not going to play a lot with Stephen Curry there, but in terms of cities, there are probably better fits for Jeremy. Once more, I hope he stays, but I know there are a lot of you guys that are watching this video that would like to see him leave because you don't think he's been treated fair by the organization or the fans in Houston. So that might end up happening. And it's given everything that's going on, maybe that's not the best thing, not the worst thing, excuse me. So that's the latest. It is being reported that the Houston Rockets want to dump Jeremy Lin and his salary only 1 year after signing him to a big deal and apologizing for him for letting him go in the first place. So that's the latest. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments below. I am Paul Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 Jeremy Lin YouTube fan channel. Hang in there, everybody. I'm sure not a lot of people that saw this coming. I didn't see it coming, but when I read the Red 94 piece that I critiqued, I started thinking something might be in the works. And it does look like it could be in the works. So that's all for now. Take care. Talk to you soon.